Hi, Dr. Crow. I am going to present my creativity journal so far. I have tried to incorporate some visual, I guess, artsy type stuff and then some writing. After this week reading the chapter, I love to write, and writing is one of my outlets. So, two of my entries are poems, and two of them are more, I guess, symbolic, so to speak. The first one I did is on June 24th, and that was actually my husband's birthday. And I was thinking about being married, and there are lots of challenges that come with it. And so I guess the English teacher in me kind of came out, and I thought about how could I describe marriage. And so I chose to use an oxymoron. So I thought with clients this might work out because it's short. You can use a couple of words, and it could help them maybe just describe something that they're feeling. So what I chose for my oxymoron is a beautiful challenge. Oxymorons contradict each other. Two words that contradict each other. I'm sure you knew that already. But this is what I drew. So I have beautiful, and I tried to write that really fancy and cursive because that's pretty. It's a positive thing. And then challenge is in gray, and it's kind of sloppy. I try to make it as sloppy as I could because the challenge part is not the part we look forward to the most, but it's an aspect of it. And I drew a star at the top of beautiful to represent the beauty of marriage because I think that stars are very beautiful and they're so diverse, just like marriages are. And then at the bottom, I drew the cloud with the lightning because sometimes the challenges do feel like storms. They feel like they'll never end. But as we do know, all storms end. And so that's why I chose to put the cloud at the bottom. So I just titled this Oxymoron Description. The second one I did was on June the 30th. And I was just thinking about my mother that day. She passed away in 2007. And I think about her often, but some days are just harder than others. And so I was feeling sad, but what I chose to do was to try to think of, I guess, adjectives or positive memories that I could think of, and I wrote them down. Um, so each thing is kind of symbolic. The first thing here says hair, and it's written kind of curvy, and I guess I tried to think of a braid. And my mother was white, and she had a very hard time doing my hair, and so we had lots of conversations and lots of fun dealing with hair. Here I drew Freebird, and I drew this because that was her favorite song. And I remember us riding in the car, and Freebird is like a 9-minute song. I don't know if you've ever heard it by Leonard Skinner, but it's long, and so that's a positive memory. Here I drew music, and it's in yellow because yellow is a happy color. And we both love music, and my mother was very eclectic. She listened to everything, which is kind of how I am, and so I really enjoy spending time with her listening to music. Down here says I love you by Lenny Williams. It's a song, and one day we were in the car riding, and we just fell out because it was the first time we both heard the song, and we joked that if he could write that song and all he did was repeat I love you, then we could make a ton of money. Here I wrote two for two. We used to go to McDonald's and get two for two Big Macs when they used to do that many, many years ago. And that was kind of our little girls' afternoon. And here it says meow. Mama loved cats, and I do too, but my husband won't let me have one. But she had Siamese cats, and she loved them very much. And so we had lots of fun with our cats. And here's a butterfly, which kind of is how I think of her now. She had bipolar disorder and multiple personality disorder. And she was also very sick a lot because she had COPD, just a plethora of problems. But now she's free and she's in no more pain, and so that's how I think of her now. My next entry, and I entitled that one Memories. So with a client, I was thinking maybe I could say, think of, well, if a client is having a day where they're thinking about something sad, they could take this activity perhaps and turn it into something positive by writing memories or writing aspects of that situation that make them feel happy or that they could use as a positive memory. The next one I wrote is a poem on July 4th, actually, yesterday. Of course, it was Independence Day. And my poem is somewhat about independence, but it's not about war. I was thinking about freedom and how people, especially people who have been through a significant amount of pain or suffering, want to be free. Not in the sense of dying, but just free in the sense of not having to feel whatever it is that they're feeling. And so I'll read to you my poem and then I'll show it to you. It's called Freedom. Free is what we all want to be, but unfortunately, freedom isn't free. The pain inside sometimes will hide, but there's a cost when it comes alive. It writhes, it stings, such horror it brings. Sometimes we wish that freedom would ring. At times it whispers and covertly hovers, but most of the time it's undercover. Freedom is there, it's in our grasp, but pain creeps up with a startling gasp. To be free, we must let pain play a part. We'll cry, we'll scream, we'll shatter our hearts. But after the pain comes a rainbow of peace, and there is where our freedom will meet. And so here's that poem that I wrote, and I just entitled it Freedom. And I was thinking here maybe for a session, I could pick a word for a client. I might ask them maybe the miracle question, what is your ideal feeling? What do you want to feel? And if it's happiness, if it's freedom, if it's love, they could take that word and maybe write a poem to express how they feel. The last one I wrote is a haiku. Again, I love writing, and I am a teacher, a former teacher, and so poetry is an area where many people feel like they can express themselves. Even the most challenging students could write a poem. And a haiku is a 5-7-5 poem. It has 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables again. And so it's very short, but they can be quite powerful. And so for my students who had a hard time with whatever assignment we were doing, I might assign them a haiku if we were doing poetry. Another reason why I picked, the title of it is I Am. And there's an I Am poem that has a specific format that I think I'm going to do at another entry. And it gives you it's a template, so you fill in what you want to fill in. This one, I was thinking about I Am statements for counseling, how a lot of times we talk about how other people see us and how that makes us feel, but oftentimes we don't think about how we see us. And so this poem is just a little snippet about how I see myself. And so I could give this to a client, especially a younger client, to tell me how they feel about themselves. It's entitled I Am. I am beautiful. I am generous and kind. I am who I am. And this is my haiku. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to combine some poetry and some art because I think both are important medias to use for clients, especially younger clients. I'm thinking my high school age kids. But these are my entries. I hope I did them right. I know they're backwards. I didn't think about that. So if you know how to fix them or turn them the right way, I guess I'll post the question on the YouTube thingy. Not YouTube, I'm sorry, the discussion board. And see, I don't know if it's, if you want me to try to get them the right way or whatever. But if so, just let me know. But I hope this is what I was supposed to do. If not, please let me know so I can fix it. I hope you have a great weekend.